You know that moment when you've mastered something, and instead of feeling satisfied, you suddenly feel like a complete beginner again? Today, we're exploring a fascinating idea that true excellence isn't about perfecting one mindset, it's about cultivating and switching between multiple 10x mindsets.
That's exactly right. And what's really interesting is that this isn't just about having different perspectives. It's about developing distinct, named mindsets that you can consciously select and sequence based on what the moment demands.
So it's like having different tools in your mental toolkit?
More than that, think of it as having different operating systems you can switch between. Each one has its own way of seeing, processing, and responding to challenges.
Can you give us an example of one of these mindsets?
Let's take Mindset 78, what we call resilience as muscle, not trait. The key insight here is that resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you deliberately cultivate through practice.
That's fascinating. So you're saying resilience is more like a skill we can train than a personality trait?
Exactly. It grows through a specific pattern, awareness, reframing, application, and integration. Each setback becomes part of your training curriculum.
You know what this reminds me of? The famous number 42 from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, supposedly the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
That's actually a perfect connection. In the 10X mindset framework, we talk about going beyond 42 to 43, moving past the idea of having all the answers and back into a state of curiosity and wonder.
Tell me more about that. Why is 43 so significant?
Well, 43 represents the moment when mastery gives way to beginner's mind again. It's about recognizing that every peak of knowledge is actually just a base camp for the next climb.
That's really powerful. It completely reframes how we think about expertise.
And it's crucial for developing multiple 10x mindsets, because each time you master one mindset, you need to be ready to become a beginner in another.
Let's talk about another specific mindset. What's another key one people should know about?
Mindset 72 is fascinating. It's based on the rule of 72 from finance, the principle that small, consistent actions compound into exponential results over time.
Wait, how does a financial principle apply to mindset?
It's about understanding that tiny, disciplined actions, when focused on one goal at a time, create massive impact through compounding effects.
So it's not about doing more, it's about being more focused and consistent?
Exactly. It's about leverage over labor, finding the highest impact actions and repeating them with discipline until the compounding effect kicks in.
Let's talk about confidence. How does that fit into these multiple mindsets?
That's Mindset 3, and it's really interesting because it completely reframes how we think about confidence.
How so?
Instead of seeing confidence as some innate quality, it's viewed as a 3-beat loop. You make evidence by shipping something, get feedback, then integrate that feedback, and go again.
That's so different from how most people think about confidence.
Right? And what's powerful is that it turns confidence from something you either have or don't into something you can systematically build.
How do these different mindsets work together? Isn't it confusing to switch between them?
Think of it like having different tools in a workshop. You wouldn't use a hammer for everything. You select the right tool for the job at hand.
But how do you know which mindset to use when?
It comes down to recognizing the demands of the moment. Are you facing a resilience challenge, a confidence challenge, a growth challenge? Each calls for a different mindset.
Tell me about Mindset 101. What's that one about?
That's what we call conscious recoding. It's about identifying and replacing limiting beliefs, or rules as we call them, with more enabling alternatives.
Rules? What are those?
Rules are bullshit rules, inherited, unexamined beliefs that restrict our growth, like real leaders never show doubt, or you have to work longer hours to be successful.
So it's about questioning our assumptions?
Exactly. And then consciously replacing them with better operating code that serves our growth instead of limiting it.
Let's talk about Mindset 44. What makes that one special?
Mindset 44 is about relentlessness with grace. It's how we pursue ambitious goals without burning out ourselves or others.
That sounds like a delicate balance.
It is. It's about maintaining high standards while protecting dignity, health, and trust. You surge when needed, but also build in recovery and integration time.
How does someone start developing these multiple mindsets?
The key is to start with one mindset and really practice it until it becomes natural. Then you can begin adding others to your repertoire.
Which one would you recommend starting with?
Mindset 43 is actually a great starting point because it puts you in the right frame of mind, ready to learn, curious, and humble.
What about Mindset 108? We haven't touched on that one yet.
108 is about agency and meaning. The idea that we don't just search for meaning, we actively create it through how we interpret and respond to our experiences.
That's fascinating. So it's not about finding meaning, but making it?
Exactly. Every act becomes an opportunity to create meaning, from how we handle a setback to how we celebrate a win.
How do these mindsets help in practical everyday situations?
Let's say you're facing a difficult project. You might use Mindset 78 for resilience, Mindset 72 for focused execution, and Mindset 44 to maintain balance throughout.
So you can actually combine them?
Absolutely. The real power comes from being able to sequence and combine them based on what the situation needs.
What about when things go wrong? Which mindset helps then?
That's where Mindset 22 comes in. Everything a gift. It helps you reframe setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning.
That sounds like it could be hard to maintain in really tough situations.
It is, and that's why it's a practice. You're not trying to deny the difficulty, you're choosing to look for the learning opportunity within it.
Let's talk about Mindset 11. What's that about?
Mindset 11 is about choosing chaos as creative ground, learning to thrive at the edge of chaos where innovation and growth happen.
That sounds risky.
It's about finding the sweet spot between too much order and too much chaos. That's where the most interesting breakthroughs happen.
As we wrap up, what's the most important thing for listeners to remember about these multiple mindsets?
That they're not fixed traits, but skills you can develop. And the real power isn't in mastering one, but in building a portfolio you can draw from as needed.
And it all starts with that willingness to be a beginner again, right?
Exactly. Remember, 43 comes after 42. There's always another level of growth waiting beyond what we think is mastery.
Thank you for this fascinating discussion. And to our listeners, remember, your mindset isn't just one thing. It's a collection of tools you can develop and use to create extraordinary results.
And the journey of developing these mindsets is itself a practice in growth, resilience, and continuous transformation.
Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and remember, there's always a 43 after every 42.